Good afternoon, grade 4. Today we are going to start a new unit, which is about history. Now, if you remember, the previous unit was all about geography, the study of geography. Why do we study geography? What does geography study? All these details about geography. Now, we have another topic or another subject. It's called history. Now, from its name, what is history? What do they mean by history, the word history? It's the academic study of the past. Academic means something is studied by professionals, and everything is written in books. They studied in colleges, in schools, in universities. So it's the academic study of the past. What is the past? Everything happened before we have existed on Earth, or everything happened with people before us. We study it now. For example, battles, wars, like at the beginning of the social studies, you have taken World War One and Two, right? So these form a part of the history. We don't have, thank God, wars now across the world, but they people had in the past. They had World War One and World War Two. This is a part of the history that a lot of people study, and you did study it at the beginning of the social studies. Okay, so the history is everything happened and finished in the past. We study it to, we're going to see now we are studying it, but in general, we study it to learn more about it, to avoid the mistakes that some people have committed, to improve our society, to, let's say, change some decisions that we have made in the past and it was all wrong. Okay? So, again, what is the history? It's the academic study of the past. Anything regards the past, it's about something happened and finished. People need to study it. It's called history. Whether it's battles, independence, wars, fights, some places have changed in a certain time. All this called history. It means past. Okay, so the subject of history, it's the academic study of the past. Okay. Now, who studies history? Whose job to study histories? Is it teachers, doctors, engineers? No. The specialists who study the past in academic and scientific ways, we call them historians. From the word history, historians. Okay? These historians, their job is to study history. They bring books, they study maybe old newspaper, old papers, old letters, everything regarding the history in the past, they study it. They could know which handwriting they use, which ink, which paper type, all these things. They study, the historians study it, and they tell us the results. They write information, they dig deeper and deeper to know all about these events. Okay? So the people who study history are called historians. Okay? Look, it's from the word history. We change the Y into I to make it a noun, and then ans. Okay? Historians. So these are specialists. Their job is just to study the past. Their job to study the past and give us the information and conclusion. Now, for example, some people now is studying King Hussein's era, when he was a king before King Abdullah, before he died, passed away, and King Abdullah became the king. And they're writing about his biography and what he has done, all the contracts and the let's say, trades that he has signed with other countries. Their job is to study it and then put it in books and give it to us. A lot of people now study his history, King Hussein's history, and before him, King Talal, and so on. This is a part of the history because we didn't live in that area or in that time, but people have studied it, historians have studied it, and written it in books and give it to us. So the people who studies, the specialists who study the past in academic and scientific ways, it means they care about it in academic way, real information, not, oh, yesterday I slept, yesterday we had a fight. No, academic way and scientific way. why did this event happen, how did it happen, we call them historians. When to use history, why some people refer to history, to the past. Sometimes you hear in the past they did one, two, three. It's commonly used by people to refer to events that happened in the past. So usually I use the topic history, or I teach the topic history when I want to refer to events that happened in the past. Just like I told you, like the world wars, when you took them at the beginning of the semester in social studies, the teacher gave you let's say, a glimpse about the world wars and the destruction that they have created in the past. So they were referring to events that happened and finished in the past. Okay, so we use the topic or the subject history to refer to some events that happened and finished in the past. Okay, also you have, for example, here, look, when you want to talk about a city's huge fire, a battle between two armies, or if you know the Titanic, for example, it's a part of the history, when a huge ship sank in the ocean in its own, in its first, I'm sorry, only and first trip. Okay, so when do I use the history? When I talk about history, when I want to speak about or refer to events that happened in the past. So you say in 1945, a war has ended, World War II has ended, for example. Now, what is history? Okay, I want to study the history. What is it? What does it include? What does it study? It has dates. When I say in 1945, it's a date. A timeline. Timeline means, for example, we start in 2020. 2010 what happened, 2000 and 2000 what happened, 1995, 1990. All this timeline is a part of the history. Each year or each 10 years, something happened, an event, something historical. So it includes timeline to show the differences between each time and how it was improved or it didn't improve. The history also includes places. I want to say what happened in Jordan, in America, in Saudi Arabia during the last 10 years. So it includes the place because I want to talk about it. Also, it includes names. Like I said, King Hussein, King Talal. I want to know his history. What did he do in Jordan when first it became Jordan? And what did he do in Amman? What are the main things he has created or has made? Everything about him. This is the name. Or I want to know about President, for example, um, any name of a president, wherever, what's the place. I want to know what he did. Okay, more I care more about the place. I will go to the place itself. If I care more about the name, sorry, I will go to the name of the person who was ruling at that time. The place, like for example, when we say when we talk about the Roman history here in Jordan, we talk about Amman. How was it in the past when we study the amphitheater and all the Romans actually remains. Facts. History gives you facts about the past. What did some countries do? What happened to them? Which date? Which year? This war has started. This war has finished. All these are real information. Now, we study the past in attempt to understand it. So, why are we studying the past? We want to understand what's going on. Why did they do that? Why did they start a fight? Why did they start a war? So, we study the past in attempt. It means that we want, we are trying to understand it, in a try to understand it. When we study the past, we study all aspects of people's life. So I want to study this past. I want to know what people did in the past. How did they live? So I need to study all aspects of people's life. What do I mean by all the aspects? All the ways, all the manners. I'm going to study their culture. How did they used to live? I'm gonna study their religion, what they used to do, what did they used to believe in. How do you know that Quraysh were kuffar? This is their religion, right? So this is a part of the history. Politics, how did they used to treat each other? What were their policy with other countries? Economy of the nations. Economy means how did they used to eat, to sell things, to buy things, In the past, for example, they used to trade food for food. You have sugar, I have rice. Take some rice, I will take some sugar, and so on. So we need to study these four aspects in people's life in the past to learn more about the past: culture, religion, politics, economy of the nations. Why do we study the past and all these: culture, religion, politics, economy? Why are we studying about Quraysh? Why? To compare societies. Now we're comparing this society with that society. Which one is better? Should we go to the past, let's say, way of living? Should we do this like the past or the people in the past did? So we compare societies to develop, to become better. Also, to draw conclusions about the past, to understand everything about the past, to have a conclusion about the past. So these are the two reasons why are we studying history and why are we studying the past. Okay, that's it. I'll go to the book. It's only 2 pages. That's where we have taken, but I just explained it for you in points, so it would be easier for you. So we started with what is history. The specialists who study the past in academic and scientific ways, we call them historians. The history, as we said before, is the academic study of the past in attempt to understand it. Why do we use it or how is it used? It's commonly used by people to refer to events that happened in the past. History is what? It's dates, timelines, facts, names, and places, as we explained. If you want to study the past of some people's life, you need to study the culture, the religion, politics, and economy of the nations. Why do we study all this? Why do we study the past and the history? To compare societies and to draw conclusions about the past. Okay? That's it. I hope it's an easy lesson. We're going to complete the same thing about history, the whole unit, and it's going to get easier and easier. Have a great day.